While in Dumaguete, Joy and I attempted our first ever interview where we talk about American dating versus dating a Filipina, my past, her past, and how we met. Joy talks at length about being mute for a year and a half and how she got her voice back with the surgery. We talk about our future plans, our philanthropy missions, and more. These clips were never aired, but fortunately I was also recording the whole thing, and so I edited together this unreleased interview. Hope you guys enjoy it. I gotta talk here into this microphone.
Yes, you do.
So, I do like being close to her though, so
Absolutely.
That's not fake.
Absolutely. I changed that intentionally for you.
So I'm 48 years old now. About 3 years ago, I got divorced. I was married for 20 years, have 2 kids, 2 boys. We're almost both of them are teenagers now. I've been an artist all my life. I worked in Hollywood a lot and make my own books and stuff as well.
Joy, what's your backstory? You're how old?
I am going to be 32 years old.
You're going to turn 32 this month, right?
Yes, this month.
Advance happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay. And you're very soft-spoken. And from what I understand, that's
Yes.
because you had a surgery.
Yes, I had the surgery in 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
And so you were actually mute. You were not able to speak for a while.
Yeah, actually, after my surgery, it's freaked me out because when they moved me back in my room, when I woke up, I was going to try to talk to my dad, and I don't have any.
Wow.
So I think my doctor's just like, I'm just pretending not to talk. I was like, no, I don't talk.
Interesting.
And not just that, like, I had no voice. I got paralyzed. I can't even stand.
Uh-huh.
And I have to stay in bed. And it's like, in my mind that time, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be paralyzed for the rest of my life. And I don't have any voice coming out. So my doctor said my voice will be coming out like 6 months after this surgery. And then I believe that that's gonna be true. Then years passed by, and then 1 year and a half. But my life is gonna like, I still want to go work because I have a daughter.
Sure.
And her dad don't support with us.
Right.
So my daughter is not my parents' responsibility too. So I was kind of like, okay, I want to go. So I'll go to Cebu and work in a store. Like, that's how I started feel on people started discriminate me.
Because of your voice?
Because I don't have voice. I can't talk to them. I can respond what they ask me. So they're kind of like, what happened to you? Are you an alien or something?
Right.
So I was like, I lost my voice for this. So it's kind of painful when people discriminate on you. I have like, now I was kind of understand on how other people have disability.
Sure.
I was like, oh, this is how they feel.
Interesting how that changes your perspective.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
And then after Cebu, my brother died.
Wow.
I was kind of like really heartbroken. And then I moved to Manila to work again. And then I started to reach out my doctor. I told her that it's been 1 year and a half and I can't even talk. And I was having a hard time on breathing. So I was like, I need an answer for everything, like why it's like this. And then my doctor, she said there's some doctors coming in Bacolod if I want to do my second surgery. And I was kind of like, I don't have money. I don't have anything. And then, yeah, it's blessing in the sky. My doctor said she want to provide everything for me.
Wow.
Like, okay, just fly in Bacolod. I said, I don't have any. Like, I don't have money to buy ticket to go in Bacolod. And she set up everything. Like, okay, I'll buy your ticket and I'll give you a place to stay if you need it. But I was kind of like shy about it because it's too much. And I decided I can stay with my uncle and then go to the hospital. And she said, okay. Actually, she's the one taking care of me because I don't have my mom and my dad in the hospital. So only my cousin.
Yeah, you have to have a watcher in the
Yeah.
hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been learning that.
Yes. Need somebody to watch me anyway. So I thought, I was like, okay, I was so happy because finally I had my voice back and I can
Wow. So
talk.
the second surgery was a success.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of like, it's not painful, but I was wrong about it because it's really painful.
And from what I understand, you didn't have any anesthesia during.
I have 10%. If I'm not mistaken, only 10%. They briefing me before the surgery happened. So I was kind of like, I really don't understand about it. But when they started to perform the surgery,
So you went through this surgery, the second one.
yeah.
It restored about 50% of your voice.
Yes, actually, in the first time, it's so beautiful. I'm so amazed on how they restore my voices. It's worth it, all the pain. My doctor told me that you have to help me to to um, to be successful the surgery. So I was like, okay, I can do. So both hands, I have doctor holding me because my head, they put plastic on it, so the oxygen would come in on me. And then I have the camera on my nose going to my throat.
Oh my gosh.
They had to open here, but that was really like so scary because I can't imagine I would be in the surgery like that. Like when they try to cut it off my neck, I heard it. And it's so like, wow. And it's so painful. So they have to tell me like, if it's really painful, you have to squeeze on right hands or left hands.
Uh-huh.
And then if I give them signal, they can do it again. So both side I have holding doctor's hands. So I have like 14 doctors when they do the surgery around me.
And they did that for free.
Yes, they
And
did it
that
for free.
is kind of sums up the Philippines.
Yeah.
And you sort of sum up Filipinos. You are, we hear so much about I'm a strong, independent woman in America. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got news for you, ladies. This here
You're not.
is a strong, independent woman.
Yeah.
You're a single mom.
Yes.
You have a past that you don't want to discuss, which we respect.
Yeah.
Because not because you're ashamed of anything, but because
Yeah.
it was painful.
It was
Okay? You were
very
hurt by people. And then you had this disability. And then you became empathetic towards others with disabilities.
Yeah.
And then by the grace of God, this doctor came along and was this angel that came and restored your voice.
Yes.
And during all of this, except of course while you were having the surgery, you were working. And you were putting up with a lot of nonsense because people were mocking you because you couldn't talk. People can be vicious. So you know what? I got nothing but a tear in my eye right now thinking about you and your life. And anybody out there watching this video right now, if you're feeling sorry for yourself, I hope you listen to this young lady's story and maybe reevaluate what it is that's stressing you out.
Yeah.
Because you are really, really special. I mean, I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Well, I was so lucky because in my first surgery also someone sponsored for it. So my first surgery was sponsored by someone.
Wow.
His name, I had no idea who they are. But if I had a chance to meet them, I want to meet them.
So this is an anonymous person who sponsored your
Yes.
first surgery.
Yes.
You don't know who they are. And that's probably the best gift that you can give is when you don't want anything like credit or acknowledgement or recognition. You just do it from the bottom of your heart.
Yeah.
And speaking of philanthropy, that's sort of what got you tuned into the Philippines. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Jason?
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
After I gave up on dating because I was like, it would be better to be single than to deal with this stuff. I was like, well, what do I really want to do then with my life? I need something that I'm excited about. I can't just wake up and be miserable and be sad that I'm alone. I need to do something. And so I've done some small mission work going to Mexico building houses, and I thought it would be really fun to go to another country and rebuild houses that have been devastated by floods or hurricanes or whatever they have in those countries. And for whatever reason, the Philippines was on my mind, and so I started looking into like what groups to go to do this kind of stuff. I couldn't find anything that I felt obviously drawn to, but that's when I think YouTube connected the dots and said, why don't you date a Filipino woman? Since you're looking into Philippines and dating. And so that just started this whole new path. So I had a brand new mission.
Right on. Yeah. So your love life.
Yeah. And that's when I did
Heck
some
with those
internet.
hungry people.
Yeah. There'll be time for that later, I guess.
Yeah, we'll take
you
care
know?
of them.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah.
let's focus on this.
I came across Christian Filipina.
Did you
And
look at any sites prior to Christian Filipina?
Yeah, one other one that immediately seemed scammy, and I did some research. I typed in, "Is this a scam?" and a huge amount of articles about negative reviews and like women are paid on that site to talk to men, and so I searched again and came across Christian Filipina.
Now, how about Joy? What was your experience like?
Since I was really busy and working with the Chinese people, so I was like 24/7 working.
Right.
So I just kind of like go there and look, and then just look some messages, but I don't really put time on it to spending with the men.
But you had a desire to meet someone.
Yeah, I mean, I had the Christian Filipina account for a long time. Then I met this person, the one I have in long distance relationship for 8 months.
Okay.
And then after that, I was gonna stop. And then that's how gonna decide, like after my relationship with him didn't work, I was gonna, well, I think it's not for me.
And I think you told me earlier when we were chit-chatting that the reason it didn't work is he had an anxiety issue of traveling.
Yeah.
And so you never met that person in person.
No.
You chatted with him for 8
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, it was just
When you
video
came to
call.
the realization, well, this guy never shows up, and I can't get to America. That's impossible. What's the point? Am I
Yeah.
correct? Is that
I think that's correct, but the thing is, she found out later, he's like a scammer. Like he's just using a bunch of women trying to get videos, and then he posts it on his Facebook.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the reverse scam.
Exactly.
We always hear
I'd love
about
to.
the women.
Mm-hmm.
We always put them down, that they're asking for this, asking for that. And yeah, that happens. But let's talk about the men.
Yeah.
Let's be truthful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a men do.
I think the women in the Philippines are more vulnerable than the men coming over who could potentially get scammed by a girl.
Where did you guys find success with the Christian Filipina app?
Where did we find?
Yeah.
Like
did you-
how?
how? You obviously you're both members.
Yeah.
You chatted with her. Who
Yeah.
initiated all
I
this?
winked at her. I personally, I just wanted to be the one to reach out to the girl. I was uninterested if the girl reached out to me.
That's actually a red flag.
Yeah, that was my red flag. That was one of mine. So yeah, I was a paid member. After a week of the trial, I was sold. I was like, this is the direction I want to go. I can fully see myself going this direction. And so I was messaging just a lot of different girls. That was the suggestion, like start with 20 and narrow it down, and keep going and keep narrowing it down until you find the one that's right. But the Filipinas don't like that because some of them don't want you to even video call them until you say, I'm committed to you. And which, that was a difficult thing to kind of grasp as an American, because they want commitment up front before they even proceed to the communication. Right. And I'm like, well, I need to communicate before I can see if there's a commitment.
Sure.
So Joy didn't act that way. She understood
that was going to be my question. Did
Yeah.
pull that on you or require that, and she didn't?
Yeah,
she was open to communicate.
She understood how dating apps were dating apps. Like she thought anyone who says they're only talking to you is lying, and I kind of believe the same thing.
Sure.
And there was one girl that's told me, I'm only talking to you. Why are you talking to other women? I'm like, because I don't know yet. And then I asked Christian Filipina, can you look into this girl? And she's talking to a lot of guys. And so I was like, that's when the conversation ended with her, because
And doesn't Christian Filipina like filter that out? If you feel suspect of somebody, you can call them up and say, "Listen, I'm talking to member number 115 or
Yeah.
whatever it is,"
Yeah.
and they will look into it.
They'll look
and
into it.
possibly-
They'll see all the conversations they're having and what their activity is, and they'll suspend them. They'll ban them if it's a problem.
Okay.
And they want you to report stuff because they can't handle all the people coming in.
Okay.
And one of the easiest ways to find fake accounts is a brand new account with one picture, pretty girl, one picture, brand new within a week old, because there hasn't been enough communication for them to verify that they're scamming people.
Got it.
And so,
Okay.
and then the one rule they say over and over again is never send money. Period. Just don't
They tell
until
you
you
that.
until you meet them. Yeah.
Perfect.
So, and it's just helpful, And so,
That's worth the price of admission right there.
yeah,
I know of guys that have spent thousands of dollars to some woman, but
yeah, they never met.
next day,
Yeah.
they're ghosted. They're just
Yeah.
blocked.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
sort of like the wells run dry with this guy, so let me move on to
Mm-hmm.
the next one. Or vice versa. The guy's got enough pictures of the girl,
Yeah.
and that he ghosts her and moves on.
Yeah.
So how long did you guys talk for?
We talked for 3 months before we met in person.
Okay.
We started messaging on Christian Filipina in December of
15.
2022, and then we started having conversations in January 2nd of 2023, and then we just started talking every day, multiple times a day, video calls, and for me it was the second conversation with her, and when I just heard her backstory and what she's gone through, I just fell in love with how resilient and, like you were saying, like how strong of a woman she is,
Yeah.
but in such a feminine way.
Amen.
And that's so attractive. It's not the muscle man with shooting guns
Right.
like America perceives it.
Right. Yeah, I have
So-
this old saying that American women are feminist and Filipino women are feminine.
Yeah, yeah.
Little catchphrase.
That's it. Yeah.
So, Joy, how long were you talking with Jason before you felt like he was the one? I know you talked for 3 months. Was it the first week? Was it the second month?
Well, to be honest, I have some feeling like when he winked me and I winked him back, and then he told me that, oh, I'll be gone for a week. I had this feeling like I was kind of sad about it.
And that was just right at the start. That was like
2 days,
3 days in.
Yeah, 2 to 3 days in.
And right away, you kind of had an inkling or a feeling towards him.
Yeah, a few days, like
days.
yeah, a few days when we're messaging back and forth,
Uh-huh.
and then he's messaging me like he's gonna be gone for a week.
A week.
And that was because I was burnt out from all the other women. I was just like, I just need to take a break from
Oh,
this.
but you weren't going anywhere.
I
You weren't
wasn't. I
going
was
fishing for the week.
No, I was just like, I'm checking offline because this is too emotional. All these women saying, "I'll give you this, I'll give you that," and I'm like, and none of them.
Did you last the week?
Well, after I messaged her, I realized I don't want to like abandon this because I like how this is going.
Uh-huh.
So I don't want to leave her hanging,
Yeah.
and so I'll keep talking with her.
Yeah, the next day.
So the next day I told her, I'm back.
You bet.
Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't make it the week.
I didn't make it the week.
Okay,
No,
You were thinking about it.
I was thinking about it.
Okay.
If she wasn't in the picture, I probably would have pulled back completely.
All right. So let's fast forward to when you first met. How long a time span went?
In person,
Yeah.
yeah, that was great. We hit it off right away. I mean, we talked so many times, multiple times a day for hours, that it was just a natural progression, and we just felt really comfortable with each other and at peace. Still at peace. Like that was one of the big components of our relationship, that we went to bed happy and at peace. Our minds weren't wandering and racing. We didn't wake up going, I wonder if this is right.
Uh-huh.
Both of us felt that way.
Yeah.
And so then when we met, we're just like, we just want to make sure it's the same in person.
And what was the time frame on that from when you first met her to
3
3
months.
3 months.
3 months, yeah.
Okay,
so we talked
3 months
every
after
day
you
for
talked, you got on a plane, and I'm assuming you went to Manila because
Manila.
that's where she was located.
Yeah.
You guys met. What was that like?
It was very surreal for me. I mean, going to the Philippines, first of all, was crazy and surreal and
Yeah.
culture shock.
Welcome to my world.
And then meeting a beautiful young girl who also was in love with me was surreal.
Yeah.
You know, after what I experienced dating in America, so it just felt like a dream come true. You know, it was just and then her personality and how it feels with her.
What was your dating experience like, or was there a dating experience in America?
I did try dating. Probably too soon, but after about a year of being divorced, I started looking at dating sites. I probably used all of them that I could try because they're all different in unique ways, but it was all kind of filled with red flags in my mind. Like there was nothing that really gave me a sense of peace that I could be with this person long term. It's all going to, I could foresee how it all crumbles apart. Yeah. And so there was never, you know, there was always sleepless nights like thinking, is this a good idea to pursue this person or not? And I never knew the answer. And it always seemed like it was a big risk. That was American dating.
No, I've always said that I would much prefer to just live alone than live with somebody I'm not compatible with. If you could draw a parallel between American woman and a Filipino woman, what would be your definition of the two?
Based on the experience of the dating sites and everything, I would say American women come to the relationship with a list of things they want from you, and Filipino women come to the relationship with a list of things they want to give you.
Amazing.
So that's why it was overwhelming to go onto a dating site like Christian Filipinas. Everyone's offering everything to you, you know, and I think an awful lot of them would have been great women, you know, and they probably were honest, you know, but it was just finding the right one. I don't want I don't want a perfect woman. I want the perfect one for me, you know, and so
very good point.
Yeah. So, and I think, you know, Joy and I just we really gel easily together. It's an easy, comfortable, enjoyable experience with her, you know. She has a biting problem, but that's different.
She has a what?
She has a biting problem.
Biting?
She bites.
Yeah, I did. When I get so emotional, I think I don't want to cry. So I'm not like with the other women that they show their emotion and they can cry easily. I was like very different in that. I can hold my emotion as long as I can.
You experience tempo?
Yeah, sometimes.
It's really short with her though. She'll get upset, you know, if I say a joke that's
in
kind of
few minutes
cruel, and she'll kind of turn away and be quiet.
Sarcastic
but then
humor they don't get.
Yeah, she does have a good humor, but there's certain subjects that, and it's the same with me. Like if she has certain subjects, I'm like, and so, but it's only like an hour. She's like, just give me an hour, and then I'll be back to normal. So I know it's not. It doesn't last days like I hear.
Right, and that's the trait of Filipinos. Is tempo is, for those that don't understand, is when the woman runs silent and runs deep. She just won't talk. And the reason for that is she doesn't want to say anything that would damage the relationship. She does not want to say what she's feeling towards you, which is anger.
And that's commendable to be able to hold your tongue like that.
Absolutely, because I realize nothing's about me, but sarcasm or making a joke that you think is funny, they take literally. And so it can really flop on you and backfire.
Yeah, I've realized I don't joke anymore about our relationship. Like that's just that's not a joke. We can joke about other things, but not our relationship.
Yeah.
Like she thought I broke up with her at one point because I joked. You know?
So where do you guys see yourself going in the future? Where's this going to be in a year, 2 years, 5 years?
Well, my kids are at home, so we applied for the fiance visa. We got approved, and we're still waiting for the medical and the interview. We're planning on having her go there. Within a couple months, and then the plan is to move back here in about 5 years. That's what we're looking at once my kids are a little older. And we're looking for properties and the best islands that we want to stay on and stuff like that. And one of the things that that was attractive to Joy when I first talked to her was her heart for helping, like, the poorest of the poor. She grew up, really super poor, like picking fruit to take to school, to trade with the classmate to get a piece of paper to do her homework.
Right.
And so she said, if I ever get money, I want to help as many homeless kids or widows as I can. And so that really kind of touched me. And so this trip, we're actually doing that. We're bringing a bunch of school supplies to
Right.
schools that don't have anything.
Yeah.
And it's all because of like her heart to want to do this. And I've been gifted things from supporters. And so I'm like, well, I have this money that was gifted me, so we'll use it for this
Right on.
philanthropy project.
Right.
And so in the future, we're hoping, I don't know if it'll work out, but we're hoping to be able to continue doing that and get it to where it's a full-time thing. That would be ideal.
Now, what about your child? Child going to come to America with you also?
We're gonna talk about that.
Okay,
But
that'll
for
be good.
now, if I'm coming there, my daughter, she would be with my mom.
She'll be with your mom.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is where she's been for most of her life.
Yes.
Okay.
She works and sends the money home
Got
to
it.
the daughter and
Got it.
family.
Got it. That's pretty much the typical sort of situation here.
Yeah.
When the mom has to work, parents step in,
Yeah.
take care of the baby.
Yeah.
And what is the name of your channel?
It's called Province Smile.
Okay.
And it really just started as a love letter to her when I went back, because I recorded all of her vacation. So I just was like, I come from Hollywood. Let me just make a cool movie out of this and show her and the world that I'm really in love with her, so that she doesn't have doubts. Because you hear a lot of stories of guys coming here and then they go back and then it disappears. It ends.
Right.
They have other plans. So that's kind of how it started, the channel. And so we just had vlogs of our time together and me falling in love with the Philippines, falling in love with her. And then after a couple trips, the focus now is like, what do we want to really do with this channel? I don't want it to just be a dating service channel. I don't want it to be a travel vlog channel, because I won't continue doing that. I mean, I'm doing that right now, but that's not going to be my life.
Right.
And we didn't try to find the philanthropy thing. It's just kind of like naturally became part of our vlog. Where like she showed me a picture of a situation. I was like, can we help that person rebuild their house?
Okay.
That'd be kind of cool on the next trip. And it turned into like bringing school supplies to 2 schools and hiking up a mountain 3 hours to bring supplies, and then bringing rice to the poorest houses in her community. And then we're like, how can we repeat this? And so suddenly we both just had this super excitement of this thing that we're doing together that we couldn't do apart.
Right.
Like, I can't do this by myself.
Right.
I don't know where to find the people. I mean, I come here and I look everywhere and I see people in trouble and in
Everywhere.
need. But she has this ability to find the people that need it the most, that aren't going to manipulate us into giving things. And so that's part of the reason we're focusing on kids who have nothing. I mean, we don't need anything back from the kids. They're not going to come up and swindle us. Their parents might.
Right.
But anyway, you want to talk about the philanthropy?
Yeah, it's okay.
You're the one who kind of sparked it all, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the reason like I want to help some other kids and some other people, because I've been in the situation that we have
Absolutely.
nothing.
I was going to say, with your past
Yeah.
and the issues that you've had to deal with, but in your darkest hour, someone came along
Yeah.
and shone a light on your situation and helped you. And
Yeah.
in fact, one of your donors, or that helped you with the first surgery, you
Yeah.
still don't know who they are. There's just a human being somewhere that took empathy and sympathy on your plight.
I know from where he from, but I had no idea where is he now. We had a couple conversation before. I don't really believe when someone just came up on me like, okay, how much would cost the operation? And I don't want to say anything about it. Like, no, I don't want to say the price and how much is it. If you're gonna help me, then I would be happy. Then the first time I was gonna like, well, I don't believe that someone would help me and he didn't know me. And then when he told me like, I send the money, I have this situation like, oh, it's not true. So I have to ask my dad about it. Like, could you check if it's real or not? Then my dad told me it's real.
Wow.
It's there. The money is there, waiting to claim.
And she would be dead without that because it was her thyroid was
I understand.
Yeah.
going forever, like getting bigger and bigger. And
Yeah.
So Province Smile started off as a love letter to her,
Mhm.
has now turned into a love mission
Mm,
for
yeah,
those in need.
yeah,
And I think that is so commendable.
yeah. And I'm hoping to raise, do a GoFundMe type thing for the next mission. So if you like what we're going to do, in order for us to continue it, we're going to need a lot of donations. So hopefully
Okay.
somebody will want to help us continue.
Well, guys, I want to thank you very much for joining me today and being
Thank you.
a part of the Cool Old Dog family.
Thank you.
And for those watching, we will see you guys in the next video.
All right.
Yes.
Now go watch our mission video where we helped out some kids with school supplies.
Well, I don't know how that came out
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
with all the interruptions and all that.